Yo, what is up everybody? Sergeant Eckert here. Today I'm going to be giving you 5 tips that I truly believe will help you be successful in the military. I know I've been absent for a little while. I was making all my camera gear into one unit. I sent it all off, so I haven't had it for like 2 months, and then finally I got this set up and it's doing every job that all my other pieces of the puzzle did. And so now I'm actually able to compile and do all of my YouTube videos and everything off of one setup. And that helps me because it was taking me hours to edit because nothing was in order. Everything was coming from a different source. And it was just a bit of a nightmare. So now I have everything I need to make the videos, and I wanted to start off by giving you all, whoever is interested or maybe even already in the military, just 5 tips to help me be successful in the military and why I think they will work for you. So with that said, my first recommendation for you, I got them all on my phone right here. My first recommendation for you is being prepared mentally. And the reason that outweighs everything else is because if you can't hack the stress mentally, you're not gonna be able to do it physically, you're not gonna be able to develop teamwork, you're not gonna be able to follow orders, you're not gonna be able to listen. All you're gonna be doing is thinking about the stress back home, why you left your friends and your family, why you left your girlfriend, yada yada. If you can't hack it mentally, nothing else will follow. And that is why that is the most important thing, is being prepared mentally. And a couple of recommendations that I have for you to be prepared mentally is say goodbye to your friends and family and understand that your true friends and family will always be there when you get back. I was shipped out to Japan for 2.5 years. I literally didn't see any of my friends or family from back home for a very long time. I mean, boot camp for the Marine Corps is 3 months long, so you have no contact with them for at least 3 months, just right off the bat. I mean, you get to see everyone and they give you high fives and stuff, but the impending feeling that you're not gonna see them for a long time weighs on a lot of people. I was lucky, I was 22 when I joined the Marine Corps, so I had a little bit of maturity. I had already been living on my own for a little bit. I've been away from home, and it helped me mentally. So what I recommend you do is you say goodbye to your friends and family, but be reassured that they will be there if they truly love you. And I mean, it's a great way of finding out who your true friends really are. They will be there when you get back, and they will be so proud of you. So just remember that. Be prepared mentally first, because everything else will follow behind if you are mentally prepared to join. Number 2, be physically fit. The reason I say be physically fit right after being mentally strong is because if you can't hack the actual minimum requirements or anything like that physically, then you can't be a part of the military. So you have to be physically fit. I recommend doing some sort of boot camp workouts. I'll be developing some pre-training exercises and everything like that. Follow some people on Instagram. They have some inspiring stories, and make sure you're following the right people on Instagram, because a lot of them are just, you know, the makeshift personal trainers and stuff. So they don't really know what they're talking about. They just say, I was in the military, so I'm strong and whatnot. But just be careful who you follow on Instagram. I'm gonna do a better job of getting the right information out to you all. But with that, number 2 is be physically fit. That means do your training beforehand. A lot of the military branches don't even let you join without passing some sort of initial standard test. And just make sure you blow that out of the water. My own personal story about this is during the IST, which is the initial strength test for the Marine Corps, I blew it out of the water. Like I never ran super fast, but my pull-ups, which is where a lot of people struggle, I did 40 on the initial test. I went from a 6-month out projection to join. They called me up a week after in the DEP program, which is like a delayed entry program. And they said, we want you right now. And so I went from being 6 months away from boot camp to 1 week away, and I was ready to go. And because I was mentally prepared, I was ready to leave at any time. Okay, so I was waiting for that call, and I made sure I was mentally ready first, and then I was physically ready. And that brings me to my next point, which is number 3, pick out the best. And what I mean by that is pick out the best people. There are going to be a lot of crappy people in the military, okay? Bad influences, people who make poor decisions, people who go drinking on the weekends, every weekend, because, you know, I support drinking once in a while, that's fine. Go celebrate once in a while, but people do it on the regular. They make it a hobby to drink, and that's not something you want to get into. You want to make sure you're hanging out with the right people. And really, that's just gonna be a trial and error thing. As soon as you get a bad vibe from somebody, maybe stay away from those people or whatnot. I had very few friends. My best friend, who actually passed away, was the best influence on me because he brought out the best in me. And I think that's very important, because if you can be happy while you're in the military, you will become so successful because you are hanging out with the right people, the people that make you happy, people that bring out the best in you. And that is very important. Number 4, I'm gonna touch on real quick. And that is, you are not entitled to anything. And I want you to remember that. Just because you've earned the title Marine or Sailor, whatever branch you decide to join, it doesn't mean you are better than anybody else. And we all know those Marines or sailors or whoever that think they're better than somebody else just because they're in the military. Don't be one of those people, okay? Respect yourself enough and respect others, and that's where you should leave it, okay? You are not owed anything. You don't deserve anything more than anybody else, okay? You volunteered to be in this position, so just respect yourself and respect others. You are not owed anything. And this brings me to my last point, number 5, which is don't be a wimp. And what I mean by that is, if you can't hack it and you know that deep down inside you are just a big baby or something like that, then work on yourself first. It spirals back to that first tip that I gave you, which is being mentally strong. If you know you can't handle it mentally, don't get yourself in a position where you feel like you're gonna quit. Start getting yourself progressively out of your comfort zone every day, leading up to a point where you're like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to a recruiter now. Because if you can't understand that you're gonna be out of your comfort zone for a long, extended amount of time, up to 4 years for the Marines' first enlistment, then you are not going to be able to become a service member. That's just it. If you can't hack it, you can't hack it. But that doesn't mean you can't train to be tough, okay? People aren't just born, oh man, I can handle anything. No, they train, they get out of their comfort zone, they push 1% further every day. Think about that. If you trained 1% a little harder every day up to a year, think about where you'd be. You'd be like, okay, I'm ready to join now. Take the right steps to becoming successful first, so you set yourself up to become successful, and you use those as stepping stones to become one of the best that you can be. Because that's what the military is looking for. That is why it's less than 1% of the entire country serve their country, is because they're looking for people that are qualified. That doesn't mean everybody's great, but that means you have the potential to be great if you set yourself up for success. So real quick, just to summarize, number 1, be prepared mentally. Number 2, be physically fit. Number 3, pick out the best people that you can find, stick with them. Number 4, you are not entitled to anything. And number 5, just don't be a wimp, okay? Do the best you can, train yourself physically and mentally, and make yourself tough before you go do it, before you put yourself in that situation, so you can become as successful as possible. And that is all I have today. I hope you guys like this video. Please like and subscribe, and there'll be more coming soon.